Really only going to make one more movie?
Are you really only going to make 2 more movies after this one?
You've said that you might retire after your 10th. Are you serious about that?
What are your thoughts on Quentin Tarantino? Because I guess he's going to do his last film, which is going to be his 10th film.
Well, I think 10's a good number.
Okay, so
yeah,
it is.
I think 10. Yeah. Also, I'm at that point where I think, okay, it's ready to bow off the stage, leave them wanting more. Don't make any left-handed movies. Don't make any movies for the wrong reason. Don't muddy up my filmography with a bunch of out-of-touch old man movies. I've had just an amazing career. I've had amazing amount of luck, amazing good fortune, and I've been able to work in this business at the highest level. At the highest level a director can work. And I want to leave at that high level. I want to leave where a new Quentin Tarantino movie coming out is an event.
This nonsense about you're only going to make one more movie.
And he just thinks like, even as a director, once you hit a certain age, like that's it. Like it makes sense to make that argument if you're like an athlete. Like after a certain age, physically, you're just not going to be there. But as a film director, like what are your thoughts on Tarantino saying that?
Well, I think it's less an age thing for Quentin and more about the way he's looked at it, with an encyclopedic knowledge of cinema that he has. The people that he respects as filmmakers, not always like, the Alfred Hitchcocks of this world or whatever, sort of iconic filmmakers that he likes, so they could be B-movie directors, whatever. That after their 10th film, he feels like there's a sort of the law of diminishing returns starts to play, and the films don't get better. And as I understand it, he wants to go out knowing that he's been at the peak and he's not going to drop off. Now, if you look at a Ridley Scott or, a Martin Scorsese who are in their 80s, or a George Miller with Fury Road, probably the best action film of its ilk, and he was 77 or something when he shot it, George Miller. One has to say there's not a lot of truth in that. John Ford directed something like 100 silent feature films before he made a sound film. And then he made about 80 feature films. So, and some of them were great at the end. Hitchcock, the same thing, dozens and dozens of movies and probably a dozen classics in there each. So I don't think he's right in the way he equates it, but if that's what he feels, then you can only respect that.
Sure.
My gut tells me that after a while, if he does actually hold to that and retire, that he will roll back to make a film because he's a filmmaker. And it's not a choice that you have. At the end of the day, you've got to go make it and do it. And writing a book isn't the same thing. So if he pulls out of it, I kind of feel like he'll come back. I hope he does.
Yeah, that makes sense. A lot of athletes even do that, like boxers or UFC fighters, they'll retire and then 3 years later, they're back in the ring or back in the cage, right?
And then they get beat down because they're 3 years older and they're not who they were. As you said, it's a very different thing,
Sure, yeah.
Ali coming back, for the third time after retiring, you go, he's not the guy he was. He can't be.
Yeah, but they still have that desire. They still have that desire because they're fighters, just like you said, Quentin's a filmmaker. So even if he does retire, I'm pretty sure he'll probably be back.
Speaking of Tarantino, I think The Hateful Eight ripped off Detox big time.
Interesting. Yeah, okay. I could kind of see.
Oh, really? I'm serious. I mean, this whole paranoia, in the snowy mountains, and you don't know who the killer actually is. I mean, both films kind of riffed on The Thing, of course. And,
of course.
In your director's cut, Jeffrey Wright does even. There's a line he says where he's going like, maybe one of us is an alien or something.
Yeah, well, that was deliberate, and that is a nod, unquestionably, to The Thing, which is a movie I love.
Oh, for sure, for sure. And everybody's inspired by, great films. I mean, obviously Quentin's a prime example. He takes from a lot of stuff, especially from Hong Kong, right?
Sure.
Those action films back in the day.
It feels magnificent to be able to work in this art form at a level of genuine artist.
We have a little mantra that me and the crew have been doing a long time where we say, okay, we've got it, but we're going to do one more. And why are we going to do one more? And then the whole crew screams out, because we love making movies. And we do. We're living a great life that we're just absolutely blessed to live it.
The weight was really on Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Really?
That's kind of like my big epic. That's like my big wrap up the career kind of epic. And I think I did it. So I don't know what the next story is going to be. I'm imagining it'll be more epilogue-y. Like, this is the big one, and then whatever I end up doing for that last one, like I said, a bit more of an epilogue, just as you're wrapping up the career.
But you don't have a specific
I have no idea. I have no idea.
Do you
No,
have
the
a
only thing I
timeline?
can I wanted I hope to do 2 more books, and one more book, and then do a play, and then we'll see where we are. We'll see if another story has come. I mean, the only one I can imagine where it would be another epic, where I need to outdo everything, is if I did a Kill Bill 3.
Have you thought of that?
I thought of it, yeah.
I heard something about a redo of Reservoir Dogs. Is that bullshit?
Oh, well, I considered it.
Yeah?
I thought it would be something interesting about taking my first script and then just remaking it with different actors and just seeing how better of a director I've come, because I actually think the material is timeless enough. I could do that. But I think that's not really how I want to end the career. But I could very well write a stage version of Reservoir Dogs when I'm doing theater, and then just do it on stage. I plan on doing, I've got a first play that I wrote actually before I started doing the movie Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I wrote the script, then I didn't let anybody know I'd finished it, and then I wrote a play. And then I wrote 5 episodes of Bounty Law. And then I let the script down. But I want to do Hateful Eight later on stage, and I want to do Reservoir Dogs later on stage, yeah.
Wow. Hateful Eight as a play would be pretty fucking wild.
Yeah.
Filmography is not a hit or miss thing. You have a vision, you have a voice, and each new film is your new conversation. This is the zeitgeist moment. This is a phenomena. I'm not going to get another phenomena the next movie out. I should throw them for a loop.